Miss with a dozen roses, such would astound you. The joy of children laughing around you. These are the makings of you. It is true, the makings of you. The righteous way to go, little one would know.
All right, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio. Place Knowledge is born. The host Knowledge born alive. We're here with this most illustrious, cosmic, wonderful, powerful, beautiful cosmic mother here in the building here tonight. So we're gonna get started in 1 second. I just wanted y'all to see her face to let y'all know it's not clickbait. The Soulful Oracle is here in the building. Psychic medium, the cosmic mother herself, Miss Blue. So we'll be right back here and we're gonna get started. Tell somebody to tell everybody that Miss Blue is here in the building. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to this channel and to her channel as well, and get in tune. You won't want to miss it.
Rapping to music's highest levels as they join us to do their latest single, an absolute smash entitled The Magical Mystical. Sit down, let me hit you with this good soul sermon. Seems so urgent, the way my flow emerging. Niggas like to talk quick, but they slow learning. You forgot me like a pot on the stove burning. Dropping gems that can heal you just like elixir. Freemasons can't erase Phoenix from the picture. Dope oratory, spit it by the gallons. Colors in my aura like aurora borealis. You gotta learn astrology, you can't ignore the will. Divine protection, all up in my force field. Spiritual war is real, they wanna draw the steel. I'm getting paper the same color as chlorophyll. I am the new decision like a quarter pill. It's all the same meaning, God's plan of Lord's will. Plant more seeds in vitro. Frequency turn, my atoms on fleek mode. Thank you for coming out this evening. Nobody drop jewels like we bring. Ever since the shorty wop, I could see things. Astrology to Kabbalah to the I Ching. Deep alchemy quotes, they hit your heart zone. I write galaxy notes, no smartphone. And if I'm doing alchemy, then why challenge me? Trollers, been watching like Malcolm on the balcony. But I'm winning, vindicated by the victory. Popping off like Peter with this rap ministry. Tell me your birthday, I gotta check the synastry. I gotta see how we can calibrate this energy. Chilling in my tie zone, no anarchy. Real soul, sly stone, where the family. Fourth house, Cancer moon, let it bless me. Feminine race, she Oshun sexy, 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 sexy.
Hey, yo, Ty, yo, this groove right here make me feel like I'm dancing in the stars. This that mystical magic, they be wishing they had it. This is dose of uncut for the living fanatics. From the pineal gland crystal that sits in my attic. That God deity, DMT, DVD, holographic Blu-ray, sacred flower bouquet. Some say the clouds were too brave. My thoughts are pixie dust like baby powder on a new day. Sprinkled by the hidden hand, flowing in the ether, since the spirits in your liquor stand. For the believers who don't go through the procedures, who can know without seeing when your omen is the gift of man. My skin was sewn from the hopes of all the dreamers. Alpha the theta, delta the beta, serenade your brainwaves, be living in fantasia. I'm not a shock when we giving the fans phases. Serpent mound pyramid sitting on grand masons. They can't ignore it, the vision's too damn major. It's mathematically visible, playing data like phones with no contract. We broke from the trap, the metaphysic God rap. Ain't no holding it back. These zombies under deep spells, wouldn't know if it's rack. Spirals in the seashells, mark the won't get back. And this ain't the full meal, it is only a snack. We gon' see the fakes hating when we in the same spaceship that y'all had. With my pulse low, you cast these felines. Feel my lines when I'm flowing like that. It's the law of attraction. See the floors got me laughing. You a magnet that repels. You don't only attract. See the magic in our spells. Now I'm fashion, you can yell. God, take their mind higher like I'm passing them to hell. Vesica Pisces like we wrapped it in Chanel. Mother Nature is the holy zodiac that keeps our DNA braided so our soul is intact. Amethyst, tanzanite, all rented. I've never cast a spell that had no average bars in it. Jupiter conjunct got no average Mars, get it? Turn into the Hulk, leaving savages, card dentist with a pinky touch on a matchbox with a dollar. Now I'm again straw man, paper dollars. How they control man, invisible strings. I ride from the sun with invincible wings. From a Americana, my every mantra's a heavenly opera. Peace to the new gods, the beast, clear truth gods. Smoke with the rasta sip, blue with the blue highs. Zodiac shaman, holy map watching. Force through savage ranks like an astronaut boxing. Don't be fools, go to school, don't be hard heads. Come to me, call up Ty, get your chart read. Ace of spades, they amazed how the cards spread. Read the sign, teach the blind what the stars said. The zodiac redesigned is the dark web. Gods living cage free like the farm eggs. Reattach the Godhead, knowledge the lead. You should pay to go to cosmic physics college instead. It's Kai Zodiac and titanium. Perform live on the stage in your mind stadium. Get your mind right, raise your vibranium. It's Chaldean design, sometimes Sabian. Listen, it's not a temporary trend. These are ancient secrets here. Y'all gon' wake up in the end. To every rhyme that you wrote, you can go delete it. Two serpents, one mic like a double helix. Think it's the U.S. that poof, you in ancient Egypt. Poof, you in ancient Egypt. You in ancient Egypt.
I'd like to say it's all for that to have you with us. We'd like to come back real soon and do some more stuff.
We are definitely here live in effect, and I'm glad y'all listened. You know, Miss Blue told me telepathically to tell me, to tell y'all to tell somebody that we are here live, being iconic. Shout out to the Black Dot and the Dot Dynasty for this hoodie. If y'all saw me on the show, it was fresh off the presses. You understand what I'm saying? Changing time zones. I almost said tie zones. Shout out to Ty Phoenix and Kai Zodiac because they went crazy on the joint magical mystical. So yes, iconic. We definitely hear iconic with a cosmic cultural icon. So again, it becomes my honor to present this time, which we can present to others. And welcome back for the third time. Third time is the charm here in 1 year. I'm telling you, I'm feeling famous. I'm feeling extra. You understand what I'm saying? They can't tell me nothing. The Soulful Oracle, the psychic medium, the one, the only Miss Blue in the building. Welcome, 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 man. How you feeling?
I am feeling amazing. And I just want to give you a big shout out, Brother Knowledge. Thank you so much for inviting me on the platform. It's always a joy when we get a chance to get together in the cipher and just kind of chop it up a little bit and just to connect with your audience. It's a pleasure. Yeah, truly a pleasure. Yeah.
Beautiful. We done went through the seasons. We in Capricorn season. So shout out to the Capricorn, the bosses, the CEOs. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, we people up in here in the building, right? So before we even get started, I see y'all. Your folks is not playing, all right? They're just like, okay, it's another day at the office. Forget you now. I got a question for Miss Blue. Let me put that on the
I
screen.
see that.
All right.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, let me know how you want to do this. You want me to talk about, because I really want to talk about the energy of this year, and I'll definitely take those questions.
Okay.
Thank you for that, because these are some powerful questions that are coming in. So I want to do that. I want to kind of talk about let's talk about this 2026. And again, I just want to greet the audience and again to you, brother. It's just an honor to be in your presence, to be in your platform. You're such a teaching spirit and a pillar, you know, for the collective, for the whole collective that's here and bridging many gaps. And that's a lot of what's happening behind the scenes and what's going on from 2025 into 2026. We are bridging the gap. And so I'll start again. I am truly, truly honored to be here. And I want you to know, wherever you're listening from, let's just kind of do this together. Let's just take a breath and just kind of settle ourselves in for just a moment. Yeah. We're not going to rush this conversation. We're going to take our time here tonight.
You know how to. I seen somebody jump off the top ropes. I'm like, hold on. Hey, wait. You know that.
Yeah, we're gonna
Whew.
take our time here tonight. And for those of you who may be familiar with me, I want to welcome you on in. But for those of you who don't know me, my name is Miss Blue, and many know me as the Soulful Oracle. And I've been hosting and producing conscious conversations through radio, through online radio and digital platforms for over 20 years. Yeah. Thank you for that. And my work has always lived at some crossroads. And I know we talk about the crossroads a lot, Brother Knowledge, but
Yeah.
at the crossroads of energy, awareness, and real life. A little bit about me, just so you all can understand sort of where I'm coming from. I'm a certified Reiki master, a certified holistic practitioner. I am trained in homeopathic remedies, and I am also a practicing psychic medium. And above all of that, I'm a teacher at heart and forever a student, a cosmic student, a star seed student, a starlight student of growing up on planet Earth. And one of the things that I absolutely love is I love exploring frequency, how it shapes the body, the mind, our relationships, and just our overall collective experience. And it truly is the lens that I naturally see everything through. So I really am not looking at the physical. And even, Brother Knowledge, when I look at you, I'm not looking so much in the physical. I'm looking at you through your frequency and just seeing your supernova light that you radiate and have been radiating for so long. And as far as me, I consider myself to be a galactic universal citizen. And that's someone who understands that consciousness is not limited to one place, not to one planet, and
Mm.
not one knowing, you know? And yeah, yeah. I've been working with star beings, star seeds, and multidimensional intelligence. I'm not talking about fantasy, not as fantasy, but as lived and as very grounded experience within our shared realities and even to other worlds and other galaxies beyond. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's just a little bit about me.
A
But
little smidgen, okay?
a
A
little smidgen.
little
Yeah.
smidgen. I
Yeah.
love it.
So right now we're going to be stepping into the conversation about 2026, not as fear,
Mm.
but as a meaningful shift in how we live, how we know, and really how we're embodying this awakening. Because 2025 was the year of the awakening. And how many people here? And I see the visionary collective stars in the building. Um, and I also see, the Do the Knowledge family in the building as well. But how many of you felt like this year in 2025 was an awakening of sorts for you? I know many of us have been on this path for quite a while, but how many of you felt like this was an awakening? Like there was something inside of you that sort of woke up to a whole new level of where you're at right now, you know? You could feel that deep in your spirit, you know? So, when I'm talking about, I'm going to be sharing some of my predictions for 2026. I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I've done a show on this. I've actually done part 1, but I'm going to talk a little bit about predictions. But I want to be clear about my position. When I say predictions, I don't predict events. Brother Knowledge, what I'm talking about is the prediction of patterns, of understanding that, of patterns. You see, I look at the pressure points, I take a look at the cycles, the timing, the identity shifts, because events change. So there's no such thing as trying to predict an event. But patterns repeat. And when you can understand the patterns, the cycles, the timing, and understand identity shifts, and you can read the frequency in the atmosphere, then you can make some predictions. And not to mention that every single one of us here, we can change our outcome at any given moment. You can change and shift your realities. So we'll be talking about predictions without without identity. Whenever you have predictions, and we are not talking about identity, it creates fear. And this is why we have so much fear in the world. You know, predictions align. When they're aligned, they create preparation. So one of the things I will tell you about 2026, identity is going to be the key. And I want you all to think about this. Identity is going to come first, because who you believe yourself to be determines how you're going to experience what's coming. Yeah. Yeah. I can keep going. If you have a question, feel free.
Look,
Brother.
I'm here at the feet. I'm striving to get this work like everybody else. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? So I was
Yeah.
like, all right, yes. Let,
Mhm.
let the Lord use you, how they say in the church day. Let the Lord use you. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. So 2025 was powerful. And we're still in this energy for a little bit. It was powerful because it marked an acceleration of awakening. You know, this is when eyes started opening and a lot of truth started coming to the surface. And we're seeing this play out everywhere in the world we see. But awakening is not the destination. I want you to understand that this about the awakening is it's just the alarm clock. So 2025 is really why they call the kickoff. It's the jump off season of the great awakening. But it's just the alarm clock. The next 10 to 20 years are not about waking up again and again. It's not about waking up again and again. They're about living what you saw. So 2026 is where awakening turns into embodiment, where you have to embody it, not see it, but know. So we're going from the awakening aspect of this. Many people have opened up their third eye, right? And they have come into a different level of their consciousness, of understanding who they are, understanding the world around them, and how they are contributing to what is going on and how they can shift and change their reality. But 2026 is where awakening turns into embodiment, not what I see, but what I know, not what I believe, but I live this. And so if you understand that and you've been feeling that, you have going from this is what I see to what I now know. And if you are leaving from what I believe to this is what I live, then you are already in the frequency of 2026. And this is where all about frequency becomes more than a phase. You know, brother knowledge, it becomes physics because everything exists in existence is a vibration. Everything is a vibration, sound, light, even your thoughts, emotions. And as we move into an air dominant era, because we are truly stepping into a new era, really for the last, I want to say, over 21,000 years, we were in what we know in astrology as the Pisces era. It was the Piscean season. And during that particular season, we have been in water. And now we're leaving from water and we are moving into the air. That's a completely different frequency altogether. You see, air transmits faster than water. Information moves faster. You think things have sped up. You ain't seen nothing yet. You understand? And this is why you're going to hear many of the spiritual teachers, many of the practitioners are going to be talking about the nervous system, because your nervous system is starting to respond so much faster. You might have found yourself over the course of the last 6 months feeling extremely exhaustion. Like no matter how much rest you get, you're still exhausted. Or there's other times where you feel like you have so much energy in your body, you can literally run a marathon. You understand? You feel like you're so amped up. It's kind of hard to kind of wind yourself down. You're feeling the shifts of this energy of moving from coming out of the deep waters of this Pisces energy and moving into this air. The nervous system is responding very fast. And that's one of the reasons why identity matters more. Identity matters more than belief. And I want you to just kind of take that in for a moment. That your identity, who you know yourself to be, matters more than any belief that you might have been taught, than any belief that you might be holding on to. Because frequency amplifies what's already there. And the truth about it is you are already here. I want to look at a little bit of these cosmic cycles here, just to help us hone this energy in a little bit more. Astronomically, the Earth moves through long precession cycles, roughly about 25,920 years, something crazy like that, broken into ages. And these ages that Earth precession moves through is about 2,160 years each. Imagine being in an age gap, brother knowledge, that takes you from 0 to 2,160 years each. Just think about that for a moment. Well, that age was the age of Pisces. It was a water age. And this is the age that is said that when Christ was born, when Jesus was born, we're moving through that age. And this is the age that has emphasized faith, emotion, sacrifice, and one more thing we got to add to the mix here, saviors. Well, the age of Aquarius, which is an air age, it emphasized a little different. And I want to tell you this. We're not actually moving into the age of Aquarius. Well, yes and no. See, everything that we're talking about has been accessible to you, to me, to everyone on the planet. It is based on frequencies and vibration and understanding about the dimensions that we all have access to. And throughout any other age that we have ever been in, there have been mystics, there have been teachers, there have been sacred leaders, priests and priestess, gods and goddesses that have been able to touch these ages before they have ever been available to the collective. We are just living in a time right now where many of us have decided that we're ready to grow up on planet Earth. And so we have been doing our internal work of understanding who we truly are, our purpose, our divine purpose for being on the planet at this time. And many of us are light bringers, whether you call yourself a teacher, a healer, a star seed, someone who brings knowledge and information to the world. Well, in this Aquarius age, which is an air age, it emphasizes on all of that information. We're talking about our systems. And I'm not just talking about systems when we think about things outside. I'm talking about even your physical system, your biology, the chemistry within your body, your DNA, your RNA. That is a system. Your networks, The networks are going to be emphasized. So we're talking about a lot of brain activity here, Brother Knowledge, because the brain holds the network. We are electrical beings. And so there's parts of our bodies that communicate with different systems and networks within our body. There is a great intelligence that lives inside of us as well. And these are the things that are being emphasized: information, systems, network, intelligent. And oh, let me not forget knowledge, knowledge and responsibility. That's big. And I want you to know this isn't superstition. This is where astronomy is meeting human behavior. And we're going to see this play out in a big way. So, some of the things I want you to know that you can know that it's going to be happening. And I made this prediction. I already did part one of my prediction show, and you're free to go back to my channel and listen to it. But I want to talk about why we're going to be seeing this here. Even though we're in a air age as we move into 2026. This is where a lot of people get confused. Even though we're moving into an air dominant era, water still appear. Water will not disappear. Water will not disappear. It's going to transform. So we're going to have a lot of flooding that will be happening around the world in this year of era. Scientifically, Earth operates within a closed water system. And so, one of the things I will tell you that this just kind of blew my mind when I knew this: the water on the planet, Brother Knowledge, has always been here. Like the waters our ancestors in ancient Kemet was drinking, the waters that they were bathing in, the waters that was running down the Nile River, that is the same water that is on the planet right now, because Earth operates within a closed water system. And our atmospheric conditions shift. That's all it does. So evaporation is going to increase, and water moves from the ground to the air. And when the atmosphere can no longer hold it, it releases it. And that's why more air often bring more extreme water events. And so we will have massive floodings that will occur throughout this time. And some of the hot spots are places I named in the prediction show. It's going to be Spain, parts of Europe. It's also going to be parts of the Americas, like California, and other places like Georgia, and even New York City. So many different places. I don't want to get into the nuances here, but I just want you all to be mindful, just because we are moving into a water, an air sign, that we are not going to have water. Because as we speak, there was a vision that I got, and actually a sister who came on my show, and she was experiencing some heart palpitations, Brother Knowledge. And I told her it's because it is connecting. It's connected. She is so connected to the earth, as many of us are here. We are very tuned into Mother Gaia, into Geb, into the earth, into the frequency of what's happening here, that we can often feel these things before they even take place. So spiritually, this mirrors the same thing. I want you to think about this and how water has a system on earth. Our emotions, your emotions that was suppressed at this particular time, it's being released. And many of you can bear witness to this, that you've had some emotions that you've been holding back, that you have suppressed. These things will be released. And as we cross that threshold of 2026, it's going to be released even more. That is water flooding the planet, because we do have a connection between our emotions, which are connected with water, and the waters of the planet. Memories will start to surface. And these are some of the things that you can begin to start looking for. Memories, old memories, could be childhood memories. For some of you, it could be a past life memory. You're sitting there one day and all of a sudden you get this inspiration that you want to pick up and you want to start drawing. You never drew before, but all of a sudden you begin to start picking up the pencil and the pen, and you notice that something is flowing through you. You may have never thought about writing, but now you're writing. You may have never thought about speaking or teaching, and all of a sudden you get this burst of inspiration that floods through your body that says, you need to start talking about this. These are memories, memories of a past time, of a past life. Some of it can even be from your childhood, things that you were interested in. So if you want to know, is this coming from a past life? I want you to think back to when you were a child. What kind of things were you interested in? What kind of things did you spend your days and nights sort of kind of fantasizing about? But then you grew up. And then the world got a hold of you and told you you had to become, you had to be someone else, and you had to do something else to survive. The other thing that is being mirrored at this is knowledge is coming up. And I'm not talking about recycled knowledge. I'm talking about very ancient knowledge, knowledge that's being stored inside your DNA. Because even though we have this water and this air that's going on, there is a crystallization that's happening. Some would call it the Kundalini energy that's rising within the physical body. That's also happening. And I want you to know that every molecule of water you touch today has moved through glaciers, has moved through oceans, have moved through storms, has moved through blood, and has moved through breath, as well as moved through so many tears. I'm talking about the waters that you have just interacted with today. Water is memory, structurally, scientifically, and energetically. And so when water is activated, knowledge is also activated. You understand? Knowledge is also activated. So when you get your water, and I'm going to give out some activation rituals that you can do. One of the things our ancestors, Brother Knowledge, really taught most of us to do from the time that we have been young, our parents or even our mothers and our fathers, our parents taught us to bless our food, to pray over our food. And I want you to understand that there was something very, very magical and powerful about what they were doing. In fact, it was very scientific, because you can change the frequency. You can release knowledge and information that is stored inside of things that are made up of water. And most of you, by the way, is actually made up of water. In fact, science would say we're about 70 to 80% water. I say even more than that. I say that we are about 90% water, because there is absolutely nothing you cannot do that does not consist of that component of water. And water can be programmed. You can program water. You can take your cup. If you have a cup, if you have a glass, you can take it, place your hands on it, and you can feed an intention into it. You can pray over it. You can speak words of life over it. You can speak high frequency words inside of it, and you can begin to drink it. And even when it comes to your own physical body, you can touch your physical body and you can begin to change and speak to your cells, speak to the waters that live inside of you. That's why it's so important if you have children. that you speak these words of high vibration to them, and you speak these words of power. Our ancestors would call that words of hika, power. You speak words of power into the children, and so that they can begin to understand who they are, to know thyself, and move beyond that action of knowing thyself and begin to embody who they understand themselves to be. These are all waters. Because when water is activated, knowledge is activated. And that's why 2026, yeah, yeah, resolves into knowledge. When we have completed 2026, we will say we now understand knowledge. But I want to give you the breakdown of 2026. We have the 2, we have the 0, we have the 2 and the 6. And I want you to understand how this breakdown goes. You have the 2, which is wisdom. We have cipher. We have wisdom again, and we have equality. Now, when you take 2026 and add it up together in numerology, it comes out to be the number 10. That's a powerful number. I want you all to write that number down and circle it, 10. And anytime you see the number 10, anytime you focus on the number 10, I want you to understand what you're activating, not only inside yourself, but inside of your cipher, everything that's happening around you. This means 2026 wisdom is moving through the cipher and being tested by equality, resolving into knowledge. Knowledge isn't information. Knowledge is what you can live without. Can you live without contrast? This is what knowledge really is. We are coming into, in Chinese metaphysics, is known as the fire horse year. Brother Knowledge, the last time we had a fire horse year was 60 years ago. So this is energy that most of us here have absolutely never experienced before. I want you to think about what the horse represents. The horse represents movement. The horse is symbolic of independence. The horse speaks to life force energy. And fire, we can say a lot about fire, right? Fire represents visibility. It initiates, it accelerates. So when you hear this terminology of the fire horse energy, you can understand what that truly means. The fire horse, one thing about this frequency, it does not tolerate stagnation. It reveals false control. And this is why so much as we are getting closer and closer and closer to 2026, you are seeing where false control is losing its grip. And it's not just losing its grip within our governments and within these systems. It's losing its grip within our intimate relationships with our children, relationships with our partners, our relationship with the work that we're doing in the world, in our relationship with everything that you touch, and even the things that you are putting in your mouth. So how do you become? Because one of the things that the fire horse wants is visibility. So how do you become more visible? And how do you live? How do your life become legacy? Because this is the other thing that needs to happen. This is where legacies are built. I want to talk about an African cosmology. Years like this are initiation years. So every culture, no matter who you go to or where you're looking at, it's a different sort of understanding. But I want to keep it close to my roots and my heart. And Brother Knowledge, I know yours as well, and many of the listeners that are here. In African cosmology, these years are what they call initiation years. And this is where wisdom is not a declaration, it's a demonstration. You say you got wisdom, you must demonstrate wisdom. Because knowledge is not claimed, but it is embodied. Initiation isn't punishment, it clarifies. It clarifies. Initiation doesn't punish you. It's not punishing you for you to go through an initiation. When our ancestors would go through different initiations, it wasn't to punish them, it was to clarify them. Now, here's another thing that is going to happen. A lot of our multi-sensory abilities, brother, knowledge is going to be coming online. And so that telepathic communication we got going on and all of these other multi-sensory abilities are coming online. This is something that I've been teaching for more than 20 years. So I can barely contain myself that we are getting to the point where this is becoming everyday language, everyday language. Okay. So as frequencies increase, humans don't become magical, they become sensitive. One of the things I've learned about my own, what we quote unquote call gifts, is that they're really not gifts. It's your birthright. It is your birthright to be able to hear the voice of the Most High, of God, of your higher self. It is your birthright to be able to intuit information. It is your birthright to be able to have an understanding of something that has never been presented to you, but is a part of your path. That is your birthright. And so humans are not becoming more magical. We are becoming more sensitive to the fine frequencies in the unseen world that are here. So pattern recognitions are going to start to sharpen. Intuition is going to become so refined, and emotional intelligence is going to deepen on a deep level. This is biology adapting to the frequency, because once we cross over into 2026, we're in a whole nother frequency. So let's talk about some of the things that you can do to prepare yourself for 2026. Number one, update your identity. And I want you, for those of you who really want to get ahead of this, I want you to write this down. The first thing you must do is update your identity. I don't care who you used to be. I don't care what you used to do. None of that. It's time to upgrade. You know, the song Beyonce says, let me upgrade ya. It's time for you to upgrade your identity. Who are you without performance, without reaction? I want you to go deep and spend time and really begin to start thinking about your identity. What are some of the things you need to upgrade? Do you need to upgrade how consistent you are? Do you need to upgrade your values? Do you need to upgrade your understanding of who you are? Upgrade your identity. And I want you to do that, not looking at titles, not looking at work that you want to do, but I want you to do that from a soul level. Begin to start looking at yourself and asking yourself those questions. How can I upgrade who I know myself to be? And number two, in preparation for 2026, is simplify. How can you simplify your life? Simplify it. If there's an area of your life that is complicated, you know, I hear this a lot when I'm in one-on-one sessions with clients. When it comes to relationships, oh, Miss Blue, that's complicated. I need you to simplify it. When it comes to how you make money, how you earn money, I need you to simplify that. So look at those areas of your life that is complicated and simplify it. If your life requires consistent force to maintain, it will restructure. And this is what's happening to a lot of people. A lot of businesses, jobs are shutting down. A lot of companies are laying off. And we're going to see more of that. Some companies will be calling people to come back to work. It will be an opportunity to go back to work. Many people are stepping into using their gifts and their talents as a way of being. How can you simplify your life? Number 3, this goes without saying, and I'm sure that many of you already know this. You have got to regulate your nervous system. It's going to be critical because we are being in an electrifying year. And so you have to begin to start regulating your nervous system, breath work that is moving the physical body, that is eating foods that is alive, that can nourish and balance out your body. It is minding your thoughts. It's coming out of the mind, which is the false matrix, and stepping into what I have coined as the pretty matrix, where you are resting in the lower half of your body and you are not leading with your mind, but you are allowing your higher self to step in and to take the lead for you. You must regulate your nervous system because a regulated nervous system always hears guidance. If your nervous system is not regulated, you will not be able to hear the guidance that is needed to navigate. And number 4, live what you know. Live what you know. This is going to be hands down so important that you live what you know, because 2026 does not reward information. We know that we can find information absolutely anywhere. We got Chat GPT, we got AI, we got the internet, we got books upon books upon books, but it doesn't reward information. It responds to embodiment. So start to take in these lessons, these powerful lessons that Brother Knowledge and so many others that have visited his platform, and many of you who are putting out knowledge and information as well. And also many of you who have decided that you want to take classes, or maybe you're teaching classes. Make sure that you are embodying what you know, what you know, what you know. You must embody what you know. So those are some of the things that you can begin to do to prepare for 2026. Because truth be told, we are already in that frequency right now. If it's okay with you, Brother Knowledge, I want to give out, I think we'll have time.
We do. We got all the time you need. You already know.
We got time. We got time for. uh, okay, so good. We got time. So I want to say this: 2026 is a year of fire, and we are moving into air. And we know what happened when air and fire comes together. Know that the water is, like I said, the water is going to be running rampant because it's going to be a year of a lot of emotional release. But I want to talk about this. 2026 is when fire learns to walk. There is there's a saying. I can't get the saying right now, but I want you to understand that fire learns to walk. Yeah, fire learns to walk, and we need to understand that. Mhm. In many African and indigenous systems, time isn't in a straight line. It's a living force. Years aren't dates, they're personalities. And when I tune in to 2026, I'll tell you what I'm picking up. The energy doesn't feel quiet at all, patient or passive. It feels like motion. It just feels like it's in motion, like fire that refuse to sit still. So, in 2025, that was a year of fire as well, too. And I talked about that, Brother Knowledge, in my 2025 prediction show, that it would be the year of fire and it would be a lot of things going on with crashes, and that no one should be flying on the 11th day. And that's when most of the crashes happen. That wasn't a prediction. That was about understanding about patterns, cycles. And so across system, there's a recognition of where movement accelerates, where truth moves faster than permission, and where people feel like they're being pushed to act, not to think. This is not the year of the thinker. In African cosmology, motion itself is sacred, and that is not something in this world we honor. Stillness is not always peace. Sometimes stillness is damn stagnation. And this is what has been happening to a lot of us. We have been thinking we need to be still because that is peace. No, that is stagnation in a lot of cases. And so now that we're coming into this year of fire, many of you are feeling this pull, this calling to act, not to sit around thinking, but to act. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's a principle found across African wisdom that says fire begins to move. When fire begins to move, you don't try to control it. You got to learn how to walk with it. And that's what's going to be happening in 2026. You're going to learn how to walk with fire. That's the real activation. 2026 is going to activate. And so some of the activations that will happen, restlessness in people who have been suppressing themselves. So if you have been suppressing yourself, you might be up. You might have found yourself, Brother Knowledge, a lot of the brothers and sisters here might have found themselves waking up in the middle of the night. You can't sleep. But you wake up, you're not tired. You get 2 hours of sleep and you feel like you've been resting for 20 hours. You understand? You haven't been resting for 20 hours. This is everything that you are suppressing. You are in this frequency right now, and it's waking up within you. It's also going to activate. It's going to give courage in people who have been waiting for permission from their mother, permission from their father, permission from the world, permission to be seen, the permission to be heard, the permission to be understood. It's going to activate courage in people who have been waiting for permission to be their true, unapologetic, authentic selves. The other thing it's going to activate, it's going to activate a demand for embodied wisdom, not recycled quotes. Your wisdom, the wisdom that's inside of you, it wants to be activated. And so people will feel uncomfortable, not because something is wrong, but they're going to be feeling uncomfortable because something is moving deep within your bones, within your spirit, within your blood. So we must prepare the body. Prepare the body. In our ancient systems, always prepare the body first. If the body can't hold the fire, then the mind will panic. Nervous system regulation. The breath work I told you about, the grounding and getting into the rhythm. The second thing is clearing the roads. Because when movement increases, blocked paths become painful. And 2026 rewards clear roads emotionally, financially, and spiritually. And the other thing is something, a lot of people don't think about. In a fire years, because at this point we've been in fire years for 2 years. 2025, this is a fire year, and we're moving into a fire year, brother knowledge, 2026. In a fire year, silence becomes expensive. And I want you to write this down because this channel came in so clear. This transmission, fire becomes, fire years, silence becomes expensive. And I'm going to quantify this and tell you what I mean, where your silence can cost you your life. And I mean that literally, figuratively, emotionally, and spiritually. You have to have honest conversations. You have to be able to make decision and have decision making skills. No more waiting to see what's going to happen. Oh, they are talking about that if I don't take care of this, I could lose my home. We'll have to wait and see. No more waiting to see. Oh, if I don't take care of this, if I don't speak up for myself, we all have been watching a very polarizing and a heart-wrenching case of many of our brothers and many of our sisters all across the world who have gone into the legal system and they have not spoken up for themselves. They have become silent because that's what they told them. Well, in fire years, silence becomes expensive. Look how much it has cost P. Diddy for being silent in his own defense. And I'm not here to say right or wrong. What I'm telling you is you better get this right. Speak early because silence can become expensive. No more waiting to see. Have some honest conversations and get you some decision-making skills that will connect you to the Most High, so that you know that when your intuition is coming in, it is clear, it is crystal clear. It is coming through your crystalline body, not coming through your ego mind. Now, I want to talk about why this year that we are stepping into extends beyond 2026. 2026 isn't a movement, but it is a doorway. Once fire learns how to walk, something powerful and profound happens, brother knowledge. Because once fire knows how to walk, it doesn't forget. It's like riding a bike. I don't care if you haven't got on a bike in 30 years. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you never forget. And once fire learns how to walk and you learn how to walk with fire, you never forget. What we practice in 2026 becomes our posture for the following years. So, what I am totally grateful for about platforms like this is the honoring of knowledge that was never meant to be frozen in a book. It was meant to be lived. And I want to thank you, again, Brother Knowledge, for all of your knowledge that you have partaked and shared with the world, for us to begin to live this knowledge, not for it to be stuck between the pages. And so I want to give you this as I conclude here. 2026 is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be in motion with truth. To be in motion with truth. Yeah. Yeah. So that's my take on 2026 and what we can do to be in alignment with that frequency, with that power, and with that knowledge. Yeah.
I had to drop the bomb. You understand what I'm saying? I had to drop the bomb.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me share that. Yeah.
I don't know how many ways I can say thank you. I got a few. I have a few. So, thank you.
Thank you.
For always.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for always. For always. For yesterday, for today, and tomorrow. Thank you for always. Thank you for all time.
Well, thank you, Brother Knowledge. We have been connected for a while since our blog talk days.
Yes. 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 Oh. Yeah, you say blog talk days now because it doesn't exist anymore.
That's right. That's right.
You missed it. You don't have it.
I know.
You never know. You never knew that thing existed. Like, what are they talking about?
What are they talking about?
Like, what's the blog talk? What's the talk shoe?
What's all that good stuff? Right. What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely want to take some questions if we have time or whatever you want to do next. If you want to chop it up a bit, we can chop it up a bit.
We can do all of that.
Yeah.
We can do all of that. And Killer Priest says, and forever. Okay.
Absolutely.
I said for always, and he said, and forever.
Oh, the real Killer Priest. Oh my gosh.
So for always and forever.
Yeah.
So in that vein, I want to play a video real quick so we get a little time to reset the energy.
Absolutely.
This is Killer Priest and Niru the Fourth Fuji. The song is called Perfect Place, off of her album, Fourth Chamber. And, the world got a chance to learn who Killer Priest was on Fourth Chamber, on Jizz's album. You see what I'm saying? So the synchronicity is, really here. So play that real quick, give it time to reset, and we could come back and chop it up. So in the opportunity that you have right now for the listener audience, right? We had got some folks that put a couple coins up there and was like, I got a question about this. Saying I got a question about that. So let's follow suit in that fashion and make this a rewarding experience.
Yes, I love questions. I love taking questions.
Mad questions. I got a couple myself. You understand what I'm saying? So I definitely want to deal with that. But let's go to this perfect place. Shout out to Niru for Fuji and shout out to the one and only Iron Software Hip Hop Killer Priest.
Yeah.
Here, the centuries of loneliness were to end.
Your collection of Leonardo da Vinci masterpieces, Mr. Flint.
They appear to have been recently painted
on contemporary canvas with contemporary materials.
Then, age, death, the taste of dust. Do you understand?
You wanted a perfect, ultimate woman. As brilliant, as immortal as yourself. Your mate for all time.
Merkaba master, I charter demons to other worlds, drive devils to plaster, rush them to hell, breathing asthma, place Satan on gurneys next to Hermes, send them off to their journey to Cleopatra. They read those chapters, egos captured, the Leo laughter, neoplasma, run through my veins in this matrix, and my basement became a plaza, and now I'm in the Sky Lounge with negative spirit hackers, build on math and we read the chapters, observe through our windows at the quiet disasters, riots and NASA, marches, gender pride, freedom rights for the masses, till we do away with first and second citizen classes. Religion is backwards, trying to comprehend to the pastor. This gym is like Jasper. Either we all live and strive for the youth to survive, or it all ends with the rapture. Forget waiting on the man, I'm making a plan. And for the ages of false statements, I'm taking a stand. Start an investigation on Satan with a cross in my hand. Make a plea guilty, now face the jury. We're in the courts of I am. If I could just vanish from off the planet, like magic, become caught from granite. Days mathematics is understanding.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear. Did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.
A billion stories in the naked city. Ghost told me that his best friend needs a kidney. We froze, reminisce of Tiffany in the cold. Open whiskey from the 20s in the memory. Sympathy made the angels play a symphony. Said he could've had a scholarship. Toured different colleges. Now he's out of it, fading away slowly on dialysis. His name remained anonymous, but here's my acknowledgements. Street legends and hood guards. Kingdom fall into a mirage. Ghetto depression sets in. Then we place weed and cigars. A child has difficulties concentrating. From where he lives, he sees his promises fading. He sees his pop's gone, his mom's is aging. She trying to stay strong for a church congregation. And meanwhile, a kid named Rico was the coke king. A lot of siblings of the dope fiends hope you scream. A lot of children with broken dreams, homes were clean. The most extreme, you got rich and what you sold to queens. Look what you did to Josephine. And Ebony is unheavenly. The devil's ready with open wings. As Lucifer uses love and his youthful mug. Then his blood on the cobra's fangs.
Hey, hey, did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear. Did you hear? This is the perfect place to disappear.
Through the mid.
Wow. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Killer Priest, the god Killer Priest, and to the sister Natir. Is it Natir? Natira.
Niru.
Niru. I don't know where I see
it sounds like Niru. Okay, you better talk to her.
Niru.
Talk to her. Okay.
Let me
It
get
might
on
be
my
another
hotep.
name now. Okay.
Let me get on my let me get on my hotep. I love it. Wow. Perfect place. That's powerful.
Yeah, they make the love and the temple and the synergy all together. It's amazing. You know, so from Zodiac to Phoenix to Killer Priest and Nero the Fourth Fuji. You know, that's all royal priesthood all together. So
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes. Peace. It was beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. I gotta check it out some more. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So 20 years. Let's do a little 20-year cycle type of situation if we can, since we recapping, right? Is that
Yeah.
okay?
That's okay.
Right. So 20 years channeling in the virtual space when in the realm where the internet was seeking to find itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how has it been for you still helping people over these 2 decades find themselves in the way that the internet was seeking to discover itself and its functionality? And you know, how would you kind of gauge your own personal growth in that process?
Wow. Beautiful question. I will say that as the internet was attempting to discover itself, that's what brought me to the internet. I was seeking to understand who I was. And so I always tease people and tell them that, I didn't have the privilege of being able to find my consciousness. I sort of fell into it. And through my falling into it, it came through the internet. And that's what I was really seeking. I didn't set out to do any of this. In fact, it was some of the things that I wanted to leave away in my life. I wanted nothing to do with my dreams, visions I had, feelings I felt when I met people, or things that I had a knowing of but could not place my finger on. I didn't want anything to do with any of that. I was working on building my life the way that I thought life should have been built. In all essence, what I was attempting to do was to be normal, or what I thought was normal, because I always grew up and felt like I was the misfit. I was the child that nobody wanted to talk to in the morning, because I would always have these dreams and tell my parents about my grandmother coming to get me as a little girl and taking me throughout the world and showing me different things. And nobody wanted to have those kind of conversations. Or if I would see somebody and I knew they were sick, and I would tell my mom, one time my uncle had came to visit, and I told my mother that something was wrong with his stomach. I didn't know at the time things about colon cancer and different things like this, but I was able to see these things in his body. And as the family started to see, like, wait a minute, these things are really happening. They didn't really try to shut it down, but they kind of said, we don't want to know about it. And I took that as an understanding that I don't need to express this. At one time, I thought everybody could do this, that this is what everybody was doing. But I quickly found out, like many of us, everyone is not doing this. And because I spent most of my life, I didn't grow up in the United States. I'm originally born in Brooklyn, New York. So shouts out to the East Coast, shouts out to Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklyn girl at heart. But I spent most of my life growing up living all over the world because of the work that my father was doing. And we traveled all over the place. So I didn't really grow up around family. I didn't really grow up with some of the things that a lot of people grew up with. And I felt like I missed that. I felt like that was a misstep. And let me just add this little caveat in there. I've been kidnapped twice in my life. Actually, 3 times. We won't count the third time. That was a little bit of my fault. When you're young and you think the bad boy is what you want and you go for the bad boy, you get the bad thing. So we're not going to count that last kidnapping. We ain't going to count that one. But 2 kidnaps. One when I was younger in Brooklyn, New York. The second time I was kidnapped was in Czechoslovakia. And I was kidnapped in Czechoslovakia as a teenager. So those trauma experiences caused me to go within my world, and I became very silent. And even though my internal world was very active, my external world was very shut down, very secluded, very scary. And not to mention, I could feel things, see things, sense things. So the world was a very, very scary place for me. You understand? I didn't feel comfortable in my own body. I didn't feel comfortable in the world. And so I was navigating in survival mode. And the only way that I could see my way out to feel some sort of normacy was to study and to have knowledge. And this is why, I understand that knowledge itself does not cause transformation, because I was not transformed by the knowledge. I had it, but I wasn't transformed. I didn't do the alchemy with it. And so I did all the things that most people did. I went to school, I went to college and did all of that. And I was working. And at the time I was working in corporate America. And I was slated for a position that I had been dreaming for my whole life. Pretty much it was promised to me. And we know what happens, Brother Knowledge, when somebody promised you something. A lot of times that promise never gets fulfilled, right? So they promised me this job and said, don't worry, you got it. It's yours. Don't worry, it's yours. It's yours. But when that day came, they decided to pick somebody else. And I was totally devastated It was like my whole world had came crashing down. And it was at that moment that I had what I now know is an awakening. And that awakening came. And I realized that what I wanted so desperately, at this point, my relationship had fell apart. At this point, I didn't get the job I want. And not to mention, right after that, they fired me. So here I am. I'm down to basically ground zero. Ground zero. And I'm trying to figure out, who am I? Because if I am not that title at work anymore, if I am not this person who can use my knowledge, who am I? I went on this quest. I'll make a long story short. In this quest of searching for who I was, I needed to know. And what was my purpose for being here? Because that I thought was my purpose. So if that wasn't my purpose, what was it? I spent about 3 hours driving around in my car because I heard this voice that said, what if your only purpose was giving birth to the 2 children that you gave birth to, and that's it? Could you live with that? And as a mother who loves her children, it took me about 3 hours to come to grips with that. I didn't want to surrender. Even though I love my children, I just felt like it was something else. And I finally gave up. Tears, crying, I'm coming in the house, and I said, that's it. I can live with if the only reason I am here is to nurture these children, support these children, and have them live their life. I gave up. 24 hours later, I happened to be searching on the internet, which back then was a little tricky to do because it was still kind of dial up and this kind of thing. And all of a sudden, I said to myself, I'm going to focus mainly only on my children, which I was doing that, building a life for us. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to upgrade my skill set because I suck with technology. I'm better now, but I was sucking with technology. So I said, maybe I didn't get the position because this is what they told me, because I had the skills that I needed for the position, but the back end side of the technology, I didn't know that side of it. And I needed to increase not just my soft skills, but I needed the technology. So I found a group of sisters online, and the name of their group had something with technology. And I went into that space thinking that they were talking about technology. And when I got in there, they were speaking language that I didn't understand. They was talking about astrology and numerology. They was talking about metaphysics and African cosmology. They were talking about places I had never heard of. Like they were talking about Kemet, and they were speaking about the Yoruba tribe, and they were talking about all of this. And I started to hang out in that room. And it was through that room that it was a elder sister and a younger sister that sort of kind of took me under their wings. And as they say, the rest is history. But I'll bridge that gap to what also happened. I noticed that whenever I would go places, I would have these weird encounters with people. And people would always tell me things that they would never tell nobody, right? And I kept saying, I meet some of the most interesting people in the world. And sometimes I would come back to work and tell my coworkers, and they would say, Blue, so this random man just walked up to you and just told you he was a billionaire and started telling you his. I said, yes, I was paying for my gas. And he just started talking to me. I would meet these people and they would tell me for some of the greatest stories to some of the unthinkable things that you don't tell anybody. People would tell me their story. And I thought I had a virus on my computer. And a friend of mine's, a brother named Dark, was very good with technology. I was telling him that I had some sort of virus on my computer. And I was talking to him and I said, you know what I want? I want my own radio show. I said, because I want to interview these people who kind of got their lives figured out. Because if I talk to somebody who got their life figured out, maybe I can figure out my life. Because this is what my mother and my father always taught me. If you don't know what's going on or what to do, get with the person that does. That's what you do. Find the person that does and use that as a template so that you can get some understanding. So I figured if I could get a radio show, then I can start asking people questions because everybody answers questions. I grew up in the era of Barbara Walters, of Connie Chung, sitting on the couch and asking all of these questions. So I thought if I could just ask people questions and they could answer, they would answer me. They wouldn't feel uncomfortable if I could get them in this setting. And that's how I discovered Blog Talk at the time. At the time, Blog Talk was in beta, which means they wasn't even a real site. I was one of their very first subscribers to Blog Talk Radio. And the rest is history, as they say. That's how my story sort of kind of transitioned itself into being. And here we are 20 years later. But I've grown and I'm still growing. I still say I got a lot of growing up to do. But I have loved working with people and helping people because one of the things I've learned, Brother Knowledge, the work that we so desperately want to put out in the world and we want to do for others is what we need to learn for ourselves. It's really what we need to learn for ourselves. So, yeah.
I, like many of the listeners here, found you in that etherical space.
Yes.
Uh,
Mhm.
a few times we spoke.
Yeah.
One day something was heavy on my brain space, like heavy on my brain / heart / gut space, right? And I was
Mhm.
waiting in line like all of the callers, press one. You're now in the queue. You're now speak. You understand? And I think it was like 2 hours. I
Yeah.
think like 2 hours. I was
Yeah.
waiting. Okay. And hearing everybody, hearing the different accents, people calling from Australia to Austria
Yes.
and all the way through, like in France, like, oh, hello, Mrs. Blue, this is it. I'm like, what do I say after 2 hours of waiting? And I promise, the care and the compassion and the compelling space when you know you unmuted my line and he was like, brother, let me tell you, blah 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 blah, and go get you a smoky quartz uh crystal and put it under your pillow and pay attention to your dreams. Are you active? I need you out there at the gym boxing. Blah 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 blah. And it was so in preparation for everything that I faced.
Wow.
I didn't have a question. I don't even know if the question came out. I was waiting. You got to me, and it was like, "Hey, brother, this and this is what I'm thinking for you. Da, 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 this and this and this." I was like, the voice of God spoke unto me in this moment, right? Via this instrument, right? The most anonymous being in the universe. All we had was your voice, right?
Yeah.
All we had was your voice. All
For
we had, and that's all we,
13
and that's all
years.
we needed. That's all we did. I
Yeah.
didn't care nothing about nothing else. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Me and Blue Pill, we laughed about that almost a decade ago. It's like, yo,
Wow.
it's like, oops. Ain't nobody know what Miss Blue looked like. Like, I mean, we didn't care. You understand what I'm saying? It was like the voice coming out, hello, angels, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it didn't matter. People around the world, thousands and thousands of people around
Yeah.
were able to gain clarity, insight. We got a checkup from the neck up if we needed a checkup from the
Yes.
neck up, whatever the case may be, whatever we needed, we could depend on that for 2 to 3 hours. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like the world made sense for that time. So, you
Yeah.
know, as a listener, as an avid listener, as you know, tuning in to the spaces long before I had my own space, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. It was Miss Blue, it was Michael Imhotep from the African History Network, and it
Yes.
was Learning Blue Pill. You
Yeah.
know, There were other
They
people that
came
were on.
later. Red and Blue
Yeah,
Pill came later
right.
because what happened, I'll tell you when a lot of people found out about Blog Talk.
Mhm.
When I started connected with Brother Bobby Hemmett and I would
Right.
bring him on, and then Brother Panic would actually post it on Facebook. And
Mhm.
once people found out about it on Facebook, everybody started getting shows on Blog Talk Radio. Matter of fact, the owner,
Yeah. There go
Alan
the true
of
people right
Blow,
there. Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Those are true people. We My bad. You're saying the owner? He was
Yeah,
saying.
the owner of Blog Talk Radio contacted me and said he used my show to shop around to get
Mm,
funding for Blog Talk in the early days. And he said, we have more listeners who join because of your show than
right.
anybody else. And so
Right.
it wasn't until much later that Red Pill and Blue Pill had came on. I
Right.
think I might have been on there for almost about a good 4 or 5 years
Right.
before anybody else. And then everybody started coming over, and it was just so beautiful to be able
Right.
to. It was
And
a
ghetto.
it
It was
was
that
yeah,
beautiful and ghetto at the
at
same
the
time.
same time, at the same time. Yes, I really tell people I'm the one that brought the lectures online because
Right.
they were doing in-person lectures. And then I
Hmm.
would have, Dr. Phil Valentine come on,
Right.
Queen Afua come on,
Right.
you know, what's the other brother? Dr. Naeem Akbar to come
Hmm.
on, Dr. Francis Quest Welsing to
Right.
come on, the brother Abu Shahid from the Five Percenters, and just it
Hmm.
goes on and on. Like it's so many people to be able to come on the platform and to speak and to talk and to share
Right.
lessons. And because I was learning, I was sucking it all in, I was taking every ounce of all of the information from these teachers
Hmm.
in. And Brother Bobby became a regular on the
Right.
show. And that just opened up a whole that just opened me up because so much of what I was gravitating towards. I had comedic scribes like
Right.
the brother Siba Huru to come
Yeah.
on to talk about his comedic work and his walk as a scribe, uh, celebrities to come on, some of the stars. I'm not going to do all the name dropping, but just all of them to be able to come on and to share what they were doing, what they were being in the world. And even people from the WAP, what do you call it? With Dr. York, his lawyers
Right.
to come on,
Right.
even though that was beyond when I came on, they came on. And it just was that place where I didn't realize that within the scope of the conscious community, is as it was called, that there
Mhm.
were certain people and schools of thoughts that didn't get along with each other. I didn't
Right.
know that. So nobody would tell me no. I would be so excited. They wouldn't tell me like, I don't really mess with them and they don't really mess with me and I don't really mess with them. I didn't know that. So they didn't bring it up. I just had everybody to come on. And in a way, a lot of people told me I kind of brought them all back together
Together.
in that
Yes.
space again, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. It was a tumultuous time unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Yet, if that was the energy, then it's reflective of the energy, right?
Hmm.
So it was a tumultuous time unnecessarily, but it became a proving ground, right? And
Yeah.
there's some people that are still stuck in that. They've been stuck in that since 2007, right? And it's
Yeah.
about to be 2027. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So they're stuck in those ways and
Yes.
sort of set in those ways, and that's the thing that they came from. Like,
Hmm.
you know, uh, I'll save a bunch of that story for your platform. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But my mother and my father worked in those streets, worked in those Brooklyn streets, worked in
Yeah.
Bushwick.
Yeah.
Helping people get off drugs, helping
Yeah.
people get off heroin, helping people get out
Wow.
of prostitution, and
Yeah.
fighting against drug pushers and drug abuse. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then
Wow.
the biological and chemical warfare experiments of the 70s and the 80s. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So a bunch of those things in regards to that. So my inheritance comes from my mother and father. You know,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that you said that they weren't stuck in the books. Like my mother gave me books, but she gave me life. You know,
Yes.
my father
Yes.
gave me books, but he gave me life. Like
Yes.
life was the greatest initiation. You know, you
Yeah.
heard my mother speak
Oh,
about my
yeah.
birth story, right? You heard her
Yes.
speak about my birth story. So, you know, there's things that I'll share, things that I'll pack, you know, in that time. But that archival record, you know,
Yes.
to come from that space and to know that they walk those same streets, right?
Yeah.
We give a lot of the credence to other people and other families, but what
Yes.
about your own
On
family?
family. Yes.
Like you were prepared so much with a worldview that you
Yes.
wouldn't have had
Mm,
you been stagnant in a place in
yes.
preparation for your life's work of touching people from around the world. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Even
Yeah.
down to the most tumultuous and traumatic experiences. Being held captive gave you the opportunity to show someone how they're holding themselves captive,
Mm. Yes.
holding themselves hostage in a space
Yes.
where they're supposed to grow, where they're supposed to shine, where they're supposed to ascend. So many things that happen to you happen for you in this walk that
Absolutely.
God has for you,
Yes.
indiscriminate to how they may have been and
Hmm.
how weighty they may have been in those moments. And there's
Yeah.
another space of awareness to understand that this world around you, this is how things operate. You know, they operate in the space of secrecy, but also in the space of openness. You see what
Yes.
I'm saying? So you got equipped with the skills to be able to help people see themselves and empower them to come back to the power that exists within themselves too.
Yes.
So, you know, you can't do that without some scrapes and some scars. You understand what I'm saying? With some wounds to prove it. You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
scarification is African. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, you know, you got some scars. They looking at you like, nah, you look too clean, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on
I
over
don't
here.
know what's really good. What's good?
Right,
What's good?
right,
But
right.
you absolutely right. And so beautifully said. And thank you for that, brother knowledge. That really means a lot, you know. In fact, when I was kidnapped in Czechoslovakia, at the time is where I first encountered the Black Madonna. But it would be many, many years later, 20 plus years later, of having a conversation with Brother Bobby Hemmett and telling him about that, that he explained to me who the Black Madonna was. And and I was telling him, I said, my father always taught us, if you ever get lost, that's why you have to be aware and pay attention to what's going on. Look around and find landmarks. So in
Right.
case you ever get lost, because
Yeah,
many of the
that's all.
places I grew up living, we didn't speak the language. And
Mm,
so a lot, me and my brother, we had to venture out. We had to go to school. We had to kind of walk on our own and do these things. So my dad would always tell us, get these landmarks so you do not get lost. And so you can know. So when we got kidnapped and they were moving us, I remember they kept telling us to look straight, but we looked up. And actually, it was the KGB, which is their version of the CIA in our country, that had us. I looked up and I seen this golden cage and I seen this black statue that was holding a baby. And I just remember we turned the corner. And when we turned the corner, I just kept saying, if I get out of here, I know how to find my way back because we turned the corner. And then when I was talking to Brother Bobby Hemmon and explaining it to him, he sent me a picture and he said, is that it? He said, I want you to go look something up. Look this up. And I looked it up. And when I seen it, I said, oh my God. He said, yeah, that's the Black Madonna. Now, many people know me over the years. That's one of the divine spirits that I channel through me, which is the divine mother of the Black Madonna. But I never knew her impact and never knew her impact until then when it came culturally to our community, to the diaspora, and how important and significant the Black Madonna was, and how there were all of these safe spots all over the world where the Black Madonna actually was a safe haven, for the community. And it was my safe haven because it brought me peace, even though we were still being kidnapped, that I was going to be okay, you know? Yeah. So all of those things, like you said, it was something traumatic, living all over the world, which was something that I cringed about because I would always go back home and my cousins would say, "Oh, we're going to stay the night over Uncle so-and-so's house, or we're going to spend the night over cousin's house." And we didn't have that. We didn't have family close by, but we had what I come to know as soul family, people who were close to my family. They might have not been in my culture. They might have not spoke the same language, but they were very close and they looked after my family, and my family helped to help them as well. And so, what I was getting to say about that, all of those experiences, I would have never have guessed it in a million years. Like you said, it would be something that when a caller comes in, or when I'm working with a client that lives in Japan, that lives in, lives in Germany, that lives in France, that lives in Spain, that, lives in Russia, never did I think that I could really relate, because a lot of these spaces I didn't just visit, I lived there. And so I had a different understanding. And once I came in contact with the Akashic records, and being able to channel from past lives and the Akashic files, how that would play a role too. Because I'd be like, "Oh, I know this feeling. I'm in Spain. I know what it feels like to be in Spain. Oh, I know this feeling. This is Taiwan. I know what it feels like to step down and touch the ground in Taiwan. I know what this feels like, So that was a big eye opening, because nowhere did I see that that would be that beneficial into the work that I was doing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, blog talk for me, and like I said, I'll go into some of that stuff. I'll go on your platform.
Yes, because
Uh, Go
brother,
ahead.
no, oh, I can't wait for you to come on to tell your story. Y'all, listen, listen. I know some of y'all know, but my audience, listen. Wait till we have the brother Knowledge Born Ali come on our platform, and you get to dive into that magic. Ooh, and your mother. Whoo, my goodness, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I found I rediscovered my voice on Blog Talk.
Mm,
You know, my throat chakra, for all intents and purposes, was only on command mode,
mm.
and that's not how I was raised to communicate. Right? You saw my mother, you heard her,
Oh,
and how
yes.
she communicated. Uh, but I was in a military environment for
Mm,
17 years, so in that environment, it's only command oriented,
yes.
and the people sort of make sense in that way, right? It's
Mhm,
like the corporate structure. All of it's all the same. It's all militaristic, right?
mhm,
So if you're in there and you're soft spoken and all that, that's nah, they're after you.
mm.
It's like sharks smelling blood in the water, right? You're a guppy, so they encircle you. In training, they call that a shark attack. So you have multiple
Wow.
sergeants around you, and they're looking for conformity,
Mm,
but not cowardice. They're looking for conformity, but in the realm of subordination.
yeah.
And they sound like they're kind of mutually exclusive, but they're not. So that in that command environment, if you can take charge,
Mm,
they say when in charge, be in charge, right?
yes.
So when you take charge, you take command, you take everything that comes along with it.
Hmm.
unless it's successful. If it's successful, somebody above you take it. But if it's some BS, it's yours, right? So my voice was a tune, and your mind becomes a tune.
Yes.
Indiscriminate to how much work you do to kind of detox from that stuff. That was that environment. So coming back into Blog Talk, Blog Talk was a place where I could rediscover the things that were of interest to me and the things that were of interest to our people. And it
Yes.
had a lot to do with story. Had a lot to do with stories and people sharing their stories similar to yours, right?
Yes.
Uh, so it helped me to be able to come back into an environment where I could share space with someone and be interested in their story, right? Be
Yes.
interested in their story. So it kind of gave an invigoration and a spark back to these chakras some were completely closed and locked. You understand what
Mm.
I'm saying? Because it
Yeah.
didn't work in that environment, right?
Yes.
And when it did, it came with a more weighty sort of significance and penalty. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
uh that environment, for the 10 years, right? It was an opportunity to be able to, kind of come back from the dead and find my voice again and find my
Powerful.
inclination, that phoenix that rose up from the ashes, and to give credence and ode to my mother's story, right? My mother's
Yes.
story, my father's story, my grandmother's story, my grandfather's story, in the family dynamic, and then stories of those unsung. You might hear a
Yeah.
Dr. Sabi, but that's like
Yes.
3,000 people that's connected to that.
Yes.
And their stories may never see the light of day. But
Hey.
if you give credence and ode to them, these actually come out. So you actually get a chance to hear those stories. So I began
Yes.
to look for those stories. I was like, oh, this is your organization? I'm like, why your organization get such a bad rap? Oh, so they're only focusing on this right here. Oh, these things become performative, like you were speaking about earlier, right?
Yes.
Like, who are you without being performative? Let's talk about these other tenants. Why don't they talk about your prison program? Your homeless, feeding the homeless
That's
ministry
right.
and things like that, like the people that you help get off of drugs and out of the gang. How come this
Yes.
doesn't come to the view? I want to talk about those aspects. Let's talk about these aspects. Man, like, oh
Yes.
man, we go over there with Brother Knowledge and he just allows us to tell our story in a different kind of way. It's like it's not combative. Like, nah, you don't need a sword over here or a
That's
shield.
right.
You can come over here and
And
be
speak
you.
your piece.
Right.
Speak your truth,
So
you
they're
know.
like, people come in for interviews with Blues. Like, I ain't never did an interview before. What you gonna ask me? Like this is not an interrogation.
Right.
It's not the police
Right.
station, right?
That's right.
So you can come over here and be celebrated and elevated for who you are,
Yes.
truly, not for who you appear to be, because that's what he
That's
said.
right.
Standing truth and equality for what they are, and not for what they appear to be. I might have got it wrong. I might have got you wrong from my initial perception.
Understanding.
So, yeah, right.
Mhm.
Dr. Uh, Joy
Oh,
DeGruy,
yes, I've
she
interviewed
gave
her
me the
several times.
respect, right? She gave me the respect functional definition. Respect meaning look, read meaning again. So when
Yes,
you look again, you get an opportunity to see something you didn't see before. So it's like,
that's
all right,
right.
on face value, it looked like this. Let me do a little investigation. Let me invite, right? So in that space of self-discovery, putting these pieces of the Star Man back together again. That
Yes,
voice. All the king's
yes.
horses and all the king's men. Couldn't
Come
put
back
Humpty back
together
together
again.
again. So
Yes,
it's coming back together. But I needed, a healing modality to be able to do it. And my mother was responsible for those pieces, right?
yes,
My mother was responsible for those pieces. She put those pieces back together, right?
yes,
So, a beautiful opportunity to regain the optical and the verbal consciousness necessary to be able to reach people
yes.
on that level. So, yeah, definitely some work, some work
Yeah.
coming out of that command structured total control, total war environment
Yeah.
and a reclamation space. Uh, you know, coming back into the soul family with the soul tribe and
Yes.
meeting people that that transformation is real.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
powerful.
look forward to sharing a little bit of that
Yes, I
over there
can't
with you.
wait till you come and really just drop your story because it is a profound and powerful one. I'm truly honored to be connected with you, to be able to come and speak to the people, speak to our people here as well. Yeah. Yep, and to hear that story and that's when I'm going to share that piece about in detail about your mom. I talked about it in my prediction show, but talk more. But I
I heard it.
definitely
I heard a
yeah.
little snip.
Did
I heard a
you?
little snip.
Oh, okay, good. Because I just was like, whoa, I got to share this. Well, yeah, let's. If you want to take questions, I know a few people had questions. We can do that. Whatever
Yeah.
I'm here for you whenever you need me. So.
Well, one of
Yeah.
my questions is, what does 2026 look like for Miss Blue? Okay, without getting all up in
Mm.
your business, slash getting all up in your business, a little something. You understand? What I'm saying? A little something.
Yeah, well, 2026 for me is definitely, I'm going to be riding that fire. I have
Mm,
a hot sauce that I created called She Drips Fire. That has
mm.
a lot to do with my mouth. But yeah, I'm going to be dripping fire in 2026. Definitely a year of expansion and growth is what I want to do. I really want to get more into the teaching aspect, which is something I've been leaning closer to. For the last 2 decades, my waiting list to speak with clients one on one has gone from 2 years to 3 years long. But I really am striving to do some other different kinds of things. So lots of transmissions, lots of activations, lots of growth. That's really what I want to do. Lots of rest, lots of growth, and lots of learning. You know, if I had to put it in short, this is what my year is going to be about me really stepping up. Everything that I teach, I embody. So the raising of the identity, I'm here for it. No longer being silent, I'm here for it, even though I've kind of been the loud mouth for a while, but I'm definitely going to be doing that. And also, I'm really hoping to do some in person training. My love, you were talking about your chakras, your energy centers, the arits, as we call them, and that's my love as a certified Reiki master. I have been working with that energy, and that's what brought me into the love of consciousness. It was having this understanding of when I'm looking at a person to be able to read their auras and, help them to balance out things. I don't take any um, claims to healing people, even though people say that I've healed them. I really mean that we all heal ourselves. But I know that I am that gateway, that portal to help people so that they can begin to facilitate and have transformation in their lives. So I want to do a lot of this hands on of some of this teaching of what I have developed into my own practice and style of energy healing and working with that different modalities. And get out and do some FaceTime, some real FaceTime, face to face meetings with people. I have some things that I've been holding and waiting on for when Spirit has led me to say that it is time. And I know that 2026 will be a first time for a lot of times, to come. And so that's really where I am. And I also have communities coming, which I've always had communities, even when it wasn't popular back in the day. We had our whole little soul tribe when people was trying to get out of tribes. But really having curated safe space where we can come and we can have authentic conversations and we can learn, we can grow together, we can share together, we can build together, and doing more collaborative things. That is also going to be on the agenda for 2026. And who knows, maybe we'll even get a book or two. I do have a new deck that's coming out and have some new platforms that's coming out and those kinds of things. So I got a lot of things I'm working on kind of behind the scenes, nothing secret, but things that are very sacred. Yeah.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
Sacred, not secret. I love it. So This person had jumped off the top rope when we first started. You understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
hopefully they're still in. And your folks be rocking with you a couple, 3, 4 hours, 5 hours. They don't
Oh,
be
yeah.
playing. They be
Yeah,
like, all
they
right,
don't. They don't. We
they
get down
don't
like
be
that. The Visionary
playing. Okay.
Collective, the Soul Tribe, sometimes we go, we done did all-nighters. But
Right.
I understand. That's why I say
And that's this
anytime.
virtual space. I ain't even touch on Clubhouse and none of the other
That's
stuff
right.
because I didn't
Yes.
think the seats. Okay, the seats. All right, the saints was marching in over there. All right, so
Uh,
this
so let me
question.
answer this question. Archangel Advocate says, Sapphire King here. Question. I found myself practicing the piano on the winter solstice. Does that energy continue to come out this year? And the simple answer is absolutely yes. What you were doing wasn't practicing piano on the solstice. You were remembering on the solstice. And that was an activation that you received. There was a crystallization that happened within your DNA. And that's what brought that remembrance back on, not just of the piano, that's just an instrument. But what happened is you had a remembrance of of a time where you were connected to sound and frequency and vibration. And so one of the things instantly when I seen that question pop up, what I seen for you, Sapphire King, is that there is a great desire in your life to raise your frequency. And one of those things has to do with the work that you're currently doing in the world. And you have a desire because you've known ever since you've been very young that your gift truly will make room for you. And so this piano is just going to be the doorway that opens. You know what it kind of remind me of, Brother Knowledge? You know how Miles Davis would get in front of the audience and he would turn around and play his saxophone and he would use that vibration to channel and open up a portal. And so this is what happened with Sapphire King playing the piano. You opened up a portal for yourself. And so, one of the things I would encourage you to do is to sit down and start to take in some of the things that we talked about during the share here about preparation for 2026 and how you can prepare yourself for 2026. What are some of your dreams and desires? I don't want you to look at so much of what the thing is you're going to be doing, but what are some of the skills? What are some of the attributes? What are some of the emotional frequencies you must maintain? What level of consciousness must you be in order for you to achieve the things in your life that you are setting out to become or experience? And just kind of write a little note. Don't lock anything in, keep it expansive. I always recommend that people write on paper with no lines. Just get a blank piece of paper because when we cross over into 2026, we are truly starting out with a clean slate. Everybody gets an A. You know how in school, when you start school, everybody starts out with an A. Everyone, you don't have to earn an A. You're going to start out with a clean slate. That means anything that has come before you, do sort of a forgiveness ritual. This is something I would encourage everyone to do, but start with that forgiveness from yourself. Forgive yourself for anything that you have done. I don't mean forgive yourself and then keep doing the same thing. I'm talking about forgive yourself and don't go back to those ways, especially when you know those are things that really kind of, altered your course or put you in a position you don't want to be in. Offer up that forgiveness. Offer up forgiveness to people in your life. Remember, forgiveness is never about the action or excusing an action. It's about forward giving. You're giving yourself permission to walk forward. Remember, 2026, year of the fire. Fire is going to get up and walk, and we must walk with the fire because fire will support those who are ready to get up and walk forward. And so, yes, the answer is this is going to continue. So follow those hunches. When those things come up, maybe you get inspired to cook a meal you haven't cooked before, or you see something and you say, you know what? I want to try to do that. I think I want to take a class in that. Go follow those hunches because they're going to play out in a very profound way for you in 2026. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bars. I hit bars. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Miss Blue, you got one question for me? I know you got something. You got something? I know you got something you want to say, but you're not going to say now. So I'm not going to ask you that. But you got one question. I know you got one question, right? I know you at least got one question. You got one.
Can you guys still hear me? Somebody said I lost frequency. Can y'all see me? I don't never lose frequency. Am I still here? Can y'all still see
Yes,
me?
you are here.
Yeah, okay, good. All right. Okay, so let me think about the questions. I do have a lot of questions for you, Brother Knowledge. I'm waiting until you come on the platform, which we're going to get that set up real soon. We've been working on that for quite a while. But let me ask you, what do you have in store for yourself for 2026?
I'm glad you asked. In the words of my brother, D-Lay, one of the greatest comedians I ever got to know, love, and see live.
Mm-hmm.
The way that brother commands on tongue is like, and he said that's one of the delayisms. I'm glad you asked. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't have to ask, Miss Blue, but you did. Okay. 2026, one of the mantras is real life.
Mm.
Real life. No more on the bench, playing it small. No more with the coach's pad drawing up the plays. No more in the
Yes,
GM office. No more
yes,
of the
yes,
refereeing.
yes.
No, no. I got to strap up and get back on the field. My love, like you described one of your loves. My love is in person engagement.
And
A radical goal. Go ahead.
I
Go
could
ahead.
see that. No, I could see that because it took me a minute to realize that that was you in the video with your
Mm.
mom. And when she said, my son, oh, she was just like over the top. Oh, my son, my
Yeah, and
baby is
she's a
looking.
thug. Now, don't let that, the smooth taste fool you. She's a
Oh, I
thug.
could tell.
Okay,
I,
1,000%. And
I think
we had
that's
a
what we got in common. I love it.
right, right. We had a moment that everybody had the cameras out to capture
Hmm.
that only I remember, but everybody was in the room remembers, but nobody got it on camera. And I've
Hmm.
been looking for that for how many years now?
Wow.
What year is it? 16 years. I've been looking for
Wow.
that. And shout out to Black Dot. Black Dot
Yes.
was the
Shout out to
one
Brother Black Dot. Yeah.
who gave me the footage, so it's now on my YouTube channel. So somebody asked earlier, like, who's his mother? Who he
Yeah.
talking to?
Oh,
You could go on the platform. You could go on this platform, Do Not Radio, and you
yes.
could see and hear
Oh
my mother for
man.
yourself. You see what I'm saying? So
Incredible. I really just my heart, I just was like, gosh, I needed to oh, well, she can mentor me from afar because powerful.
my
Powerful.
mother belongs to y'all now. Okay, so
Yes,
there's many
powerful.
people along the way who have gleaned and been, upgraded by her energy and her presence.
Oh yes.
Um, almost 1,000 people at her, homegoing, her transition.
Wow. Yes.
I ain't know nobody in the room. You understand what I'm saying? Like other
Yeah.
than my family, but that like for a long time, So if you heard her on the video saying, "You come in the neighborhood, it's ma, and grandma."
Yes.
You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? And say, "How many children you have?" She's like, "I lost count a long time
Oh
ago."
yeah. She said
Literally, that's not an exaggeration, right? Literally, it's not an exaggeration. So we have a kindred sort of spirit in that
yeah.
way, right?
Yeah.
I was promised a bunch of children from since I was a child, right?
Yeah.
And uh, I'm out to see them. I'm out to see them everywhere that I go. So a beautiful opportunity in 2026
Yeah.
is, I think in 2017, 2018, something like that. One
Mhm.
of my brothers, uh, Trey, and his cousin
Mhm.
was like, "This is Knowledge Not a Robot tour." We still doing blog talk, so I had my little bit of anonymity, right? a tiny bit, right? We had our own identity. Like, so I was behind the scenes, and if you didn't know, you didn't know, right?
Right.
So, I went to Texas, and I was in Texas. They having some business, and I just hit up, one of the brothers, and he was like, "Yo, I'm pulling up." So he was like, "We doing the knowledge is not a robot tour. Like he's a real person in real life, right?" Type of situation, and that mantra goes forward into 2026.
Yes.
People connect with you 80 to 90%. 20 to 10% is your product or service. They connect with you. They want to know you.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? They want to
Mhm.
know you. They want to know who you are, what you stand on, and all of those things. So, this audacious goal to tell 1 million Black stories from around the globe. They're not
Yes.
going to just come to me. Okay.
No.
I have to be where they are. A
Yes.
vast majority of these folks are going to send in their stories, but there is nothing
Like.
greater in
Mhm.
regards to what I do
Yes.
than going to see people. I'm in
Wow.
Nicholas posted up and I'm looking
Yeah.
around at the new people looking at me like I'm new. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right. So I'm in the cut, right? So, I'm kicking it with Baba Seville, King
Yeah.
Simon, Boy Strayhorn walked in with his daughter. And
Yes.
like Dot walks in.
Yes.
And he sees me as soon as he walks in. It's like, yeah, how? I'm like, yeah, I see you on the fly. It was nowhere in the world I was not gonna come over here
And
and
say
see what it
something.
is. Right, right. So I'm
Mhm.
like, I came to see you rock, guy. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, boom, he
Yeah.
walks in, Mama Dot walks in. I'm in awe. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So it's a beautiful opportunity to go and see people. You know what I'm saying? I was in
Yeah.
Black and Nobel in Philly, you know,
Yeah.
with the brother Hakeem. You understand what I'm saying? And it
Yes.
was like people was like, yo, I remember you from the DVD era. I was bugging this floor. I was like, wait, people
Wow.
still remember?
Remember.
People was
Yeah.
like coming out to come see. So that is not something that I calculated, right?
Yes.
But when you put that out, that's what you put out. You put this righteous energy out. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You heard my mother say, all she does is a good job.
Yes.
I'm her understudy in that regard.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
that beautiful opportunity to be able to link back up with people. All of this other stuff is fine. Some people live for the internet, they live for followers and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And to God be glory for them for that. But
Right.
I need to see people in real life. I
Yeah.
need to see people in real life. We need to train together. We need to build together. There's so
Yeah.
many things, shared. You were here on my physical day. I have released two
Yes.
books that day. You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? And
Yes.
I was up all night making sure that those books was prepared. So I didn't get no rest. And I did
Mhm.
6 shows on that day. 6 shows and released two books. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And owed to that physical day, and owed to my mother. I promised her books. I was supposed to
Yes.
be writing books since I was 8 years old. Right.
Yeah.
So look
Wow.
at the time that was
To do it.
dedicated for it to come back around. It's like, all right, this was it. So I had to make sure that that was it. So those 6 books turned into 12 books. So there's 12 books
Yeah.
now, in the
Wow.
series. 12 books in the
Congratulations.
series, and they're all practical,
Yeah.
I don't want to waste your time with things you can't use,
That's
you know,
right. That's the
that are
same way.
actionable. Yeah, none of that.
None
So
of that.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
great opportunity to be able to reconnect with people and
Yeah.
to know that my mother's mission is still alive and well. And
Yes.
some things you touched on,
Ashe.
I was like, yeah, that's it. That's
Mhm.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely excited for 2026. And you gave me the fire horse. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
The
The fire
fire
horse, and
horse.
I'm like, let's go, let's
That's
go.
it. If you gonna ride, ride the fire horse.
Ride
This
the
is
fire
the
horse, not
this
that
is
white
the
horse. Leave
year.
that white horse alone.
Not the white horse, the fire horse. Yeah, you're gonna ride the fire horse. And
Yeah, yeah.
also I'll say this as well. So many of you, if you understand about numerology,
Mhm.
once we come into 2026, that is called a universal year. So if you take 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, it adds up to a 10. And in numerology, you're going to reduce that down to a 1, just like you got your 10 years here. This is really the mark of a new beginning, of a new cycle, like a 9-year cycle. Some of us are in 9-year cycle. Some of us is in a 25-year cycle. And some of us are in a cycle even longer than that, just depending on when we are. But here's the thing. Don't wait until your birthday to celebrate and take advantage of this energy of 2026. It is the year of activation and embodiment. Yes, the one represents a new beginning, but more than a new beginning, it represents instant manifestation. And that instant manifestation also requires a level of responsibility, because that means what you think, what you feel, and what you unconsciously are putting out, what you are broadcasting in the world is what you're going to be drawing more closer to you and creating in the world. So 2026, it's Happy New Year's. This is not the time for you to hold on to. The real New Year's don't start till Aries season. I get that. But when you can have a collective group of people, more than 8 billion
Oh,
people on the planet, all focused and
yeah.
thinking one thought at one time, it is a great time to put something in motion. It is time. This is when the fire will be lit. Many of you guys participated in my live transmission and activation called Andromeda Rising. And we will see that because New York City is going to be a hot spot. It's a hot spot in my prediction. I talked a little bit about it. We will talk more about it. And you probably will hear others who channel information who will talk about New York City. It's interesting. I seen someone online and they had New York City and they had the Statue of Liberty, but it was like the Statue of Liberty was kind of distorted and it was looking some kind of way. Now, in my Andromeda Rising, Statue of Liberty was standing there tall, standing there strong, and the fire was lit. The fire was so bright that it was lighting up all of the water and the city behind it. And so the reason I tell you that is because there has been a split in the world, and some would call it the old earth and the new earth. Well, we're not going nowhere. This isn't an ascension journey about leaving earth. It is a journey about you becoming more anchored in earth and become activated in your godhood. You understand? Because all of us have that God spark that lives inside of us. And this is what is actually getting activated at this particular time. But truth be told, if you focus on this world being the old world and being a world of destruction and hell, then that's what you're going to encounter and what you're going to live. Right? So this is why you have to embody what is actually going to go down within you. What are you embodying? Because you have a say in what 2026 looks like. But there's a lot of forces in this world that want you to believe that the world is happening to you and not in spite of you. And so they want to take your power. They want to steal your energy, steal your light, and they want to use it for their agenda. And that can happen if you stay silent. That can happen if you are not, setting some intentions in your own life and you're not moving towards that. That can happen if you're not able to stay grounded within your own physical body. That can happen if you lose sight of the big picture of who you are and why you're here and that purpose. And so the goal is to make sure that we stay focused and get our clarity and move forward. But if you all are interested in hearing me talk about the 2026 prediction, you can check out my channel at the Soulful Oracle on YouTube. And it is there. That is part 1. And I will be going into part 2. So far, Brother Knowledge, many of the predictions have already come true. One of them I made last year, which has to do with our transportation system. We're going to see a big uptake in our transportation system. It already went into effect as of last year. And so there is also going to be a new airline that comes on board, but that probably will be later, or talks of it towards the end of 2026 or at the beginning of 2027. I suck with time. I'm just energetically telling you what I see. It will change transportation by ship. It will change the way we transport by air and also by train, because there's going to be some major disruptions in these areas that is going to force a new way of being, of understanding. In 2025, that I did this show earlier this month, I talked about major blackouts. They've already started. I've talked about the flooding. They've already started. All of these things have started. I talked about vaccination, and this is where your mother comes into play, and some work that she was very instrumental in and still is actively, I truly feel in my heart, as the channel I got. And so babies will no longer be required to receive the hepatitis B shot at birth, but immunization is going to be put into the hands of the parent. And it's going to be a different protocol that can be followed. A question many parents have asked me over the years, and many states and many places do allow you, due to your religious beliefs and different other circumstances, to be able to bypass that. Well, it's going to come to the place where now you're going to have to submit documentation, and you're going to have to submit other documents if you want the vaccination, because these things will start to come to light. It's going to be a major change. 2026 is also going to be the year that you eat the least amount of food that you probably have eaten all of your life. One of the reasons is because we are receiving a massive upgrade into our Merkaba, and we are becoming more crystalline beings. But I don't want you to think that this happens by osmosis, because just like alchemists, everyone has free will. And free will is the greatest will in all of the cosmos. So everyone, just because you receive a download, it doesn't mean that you are going to be activated, or you are going to be activating your Merkaba even more, or crystallizing your chakras or your energy centers. This is going to require you to do the work. And we've heard our elders and ancestors talk about doing the work. And the work that I'm talking about has nothing to do with this false matrix that's out here that lives inside the lower aspect of the ego mind. But I'm talking about that work, that internal work. One of the ways that I quantify this, brother knowledge, is self-love is the new shadow work. So no more do we have to go through this sacrifice. No more do we have to be locked into fear as much as we've been locked into fear. No more do we have to be clouded by illusions. A lot of this had to do with the Piscean age. And yes, the Piscean age brought about a great thing of transformation when it came to spirituality and a lot of things. But as we know, in this world of duality, there is a polarizing understanding of all aspects that exist in this dimension. So when we talk about the lower aspects of the Pisces energy, that's what I'm speaking about. And see, we are moving now into the air. So we are going into the Akash, the ethers, right? We're going into the higher consciousness. But I want you to think about this. We have to prepare the body, like I talked about earlier in the show. You have to prepare the body, because you can't get there if your body can't make it. And a lot of us have not been doing our very best to take care of our health and our body. And we must do that. That is something that's been at the forefront for me, lately here, and taken even more serious. And I'm not talking about planet Earth serious. I'm talking about star serious, that kind of serious. We got to take it. Imagine yourself. It's just like a deep sea diver, brother knowledge. When they go down in the bottom of the sea, they cannot immediately just come back to the surface. Their bodies will explode because of the pressure. And so I want you to know that we have spent more than 27,000 years in water, and we are lifting off into air. Right now, there's a major portal that is open. The mothership is coming to pick up so many souls at this time. So there will be, and right now my heart goes out and I'm sending love to those of you who have loved ones, who have friends, who have family. You yourself may be dealing with something that is a challenge within your physical body at this particular time. A lot of souls are deciding that this is where they want to go and explore and do something else. And at the same time, there's a lot of souls coming into the planet. So a lot of people are becoming pregnant. I've been talking about this for months and months. Twins are going to be popping up from everywhere because it's going to speak to the duality that exists in the consciousness on the planet. We have the old world and we have the new world that we are now stepping into and that we are building. And so we are leaving from this Pisces age and we are moving towards, we're not there, we're on the golden bridge. If you've heard that that heard that quote before, we're on the golden bridge crossing over into what we know as the age of Aquarius. But honestly, I feel that we're still about 150 years out to the age of Aquarius, but we have access to it. And the more ways that you raise your frequency and your consciousness, you can have access to the age of Aquarius now. And the goals of the ones who are on the planets right now, whether you call yourself a god, a goddess, whether you call yourself a star seed, a spiritual leader, a teacher, an enlightened one, a chosen one, is for us to bring heaven down to earth. And when we say heaven down to earth, that is channeling this information, higher states of consciousness and expansion, and to bring more light here on the planet so that we can continue to move humanity forward, right? In an elevated way, in a very elevated, a very sophisticated, and a very aligned way. But it doesn't take everyone. And everyone ain't coming with you. So many of you right now, you may have lost a lot of friends this year. You may have had a lot of people turn their back on you for reasons unbeknownst to you. You may even had separation with your family. A lot of young people, Brother Knowledge, have gone no contact with their family. It's a lot of reasons why these things are occurring and they're happening within your life. It's so that all of us can step into the role of becoming sovereign beings. And with becoming sovereign beings, there's responsibility that goes along with that, because this is when you step into creation energy. Look at this year of 10 that we're in. This is the binary code. It is everything that makes up this existence down to its finite and essence. It's everything that is in existence. It is a new beginning that is ciphering itself around the cosmic wound that we know that is our existence. And it is calling all of us to the center. Everybody got to stand on their square, and everyone has got to take responsibility for themselves. And we can collectively bring our unique God energy together, and we can continue to move forward. So this is a lot of what we have to look forward to moving into this year. And it's going to be powerful. It's powerful right now. It doesn't go without its challenges. But I do want you to know, if you haven't heard the prediction show, it's one for you to get your ears on. I'm going to continue with that. I will be putting out a program that I run throughout the year where I give you dates. I give you timelines. I send text messages. We do a lot of work so that we can stay ahead of the curve. And we can not only be riding these cosmic waves, we can be creating them too. Because remember, God is self-realization. Self-realization. Yeah.
I want
I
to
love
get
that.
one more song if we could, and then we could get the final thoughts, everything you got coming up, anything you want to celebrate, anything you want to elevate, anything you want to bring to our material view and remind us, okay?
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I want to thank you for your time, your love, you understand what I'm saying, and you doing what you do, how you do, that only you can do, Miss Blue, okay? Only you
Well, I
can
thank
do,
you too.
Miss Lee,
Yeah.
okay? So I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
play this song,
Yes.
Telepathy from The Cure. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And we can come back for your final thoughts. Tell somebody we're still live. Okay? And
That's
Miss Blue
right.
asked for some questions. So, if y'all got a couple questions over there, y'all know what to do with them questions. So let me play this real quick. We'll be right
Yes.
back.
Everything's a vibe. Like, this is science. Everything's got its own frequency. We know that energy is neither created or destroyed, it's merely transferred or transformed. When we speak in energy. I don't even think people pay attention half the time in conversation when I say, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you.
You said I read your mind the other day, but baby, we are just connected deeply in another way. That telepathy connection, energy that's manifested through that melanin, electric currents traveling kinetic. What you thinking? But my mama calling me coincidence, no higher common sense of calling ESP. We are magic while this world's unraveling. 5G cannot limit our abilities from traveling. See, I'm on another level, dirty digging. Homie, get the shovel. I'm a rebel in this motherfucker, dancing with these demons. Got them screaming. This world is planting fear inside us. Clearly, I'm just over all the brainwashing. Time to wash your brain of all the pain, of all the stress, all the lies you told yourself. Open your eyes and realize you're a diamond in the rock. Don't let them tell you what you're not. It's time to show the world all this magic that we got with telepathy.
So hear me clearly. For me, language is liberation. The words that we have, they define and describe the very things that free our mind, but only when we choose with intention and pay attention to the frequency of the words that we use to construct our realities. Who do you say that you are? I am. I am. Those two words alone are the very beginning to a powerful sequence of awakening yourself to who and all that you are, have been, and will be. We talk in frequency.
Clouded visions, poison minds, can't see clear enough. The world full of interference, so God ain't hearing us. My spouse miles away, can't even take a walk in public. Coronavirus got us locked away like lab subjects. Close your eyes and you can feel the pain, we all connected. Empath, so I sense when every soul's ejected. A mystic, magical, way beyond simplistic. 5G blocking my chi, keeping our signals twisted. Communicate with my mind, mental telepathy. Into a nature, so we speak on different frequencies. My third, I watch, the other two never truly see. The world is an illusion shrouded in secrecy. A king by birthright, a god at first sight. Divine shine bright, blind the wicked at first light. Open your heart chakra and let these words shock you. We tell them havoc, use your magic like a witch doctor.
Or ancient Egyptian words of power that speaks to the soul. I command your soul to listen. Nukta un mesura aritun ak em ta temau. Nukta un mesura aritun ak em ta temau. Nukta un mesura aritun ak em ta temau. Chaz un mesura aritun ak im ta tema
Oh, wow. I love that. Yeah. Powerful. Powerful. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Two groups of people are the most feared and dangerous people in the world right now. That's the creatives and the scientists. And in our cipher, we are both. I'm going to let that sit in. We are the scientists and we are the creatives on the planet right now. So, yeah, it's time to get it. It's time to walk with the fire. It's time to walk with the fire for real. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
So, Miss Blue, I know you got to find a word for us. You understand what I'm saying? And I know you got some events and things that you're working on, you're promoting. So, anything that's on your mind, heart, and spirit, and any events you want to call our attention to, the floor is yours. Matter of fact, I'm moving off the screen. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All eyes on Miss Blue right here. Bam.
Okay. All right. Listen, one of the things I want to say first to the brother Knowledge, I want to thank you for having me to come on your amazing platform. And it's always a joy. And I'm so glad that I've had the opportunity for us to stay connected over the years and to reconnect at this appointed time. So I just want to give all praise to you and thank you so much for having me here. I always love connecting with you. It's always a powerful activation and a connection when we get together. So I'm grateful for that. I also want to say thank you to everyone who has tuned in to this live. And I definitely want to encourage you to, if you're not tuned in to the brother, do the Knowledge Radio. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow, and ring the bell, and all of that great stuff. And also, I want to invite you to check me out as well. One of my main YouTube channels is at the Soulful Oracle on YouTube. And you can definitely check me out over there. Many of you have questions. And one of the things that I will tell you, even though right now I don't have available slots opening, and I'm hoping in 2026 I will be able to open my books to be able to do more personal readings. Right now I have a waiting list, but I do have a lot of classes that are coming up. And one of the classes that I will be kicking off in 2026 is a course that I'm calling Dream Makers, where you take actually your dreams and you make them into reality. So this isn't just a class, it is a coaching, galactic coaching. So we will be working on things like multisensory abilities, how to activate your spiritual gifts, and how to infuse that into your life so that you can embody it and you can begin to start manifesting the life that you desire to live. And throughout the course of this 12 weeks, you will be working on that particular dream, those different attributes, the things that you need to have clarity on to get in alignment so that you can start to begin to bring your dreams into reality into 2026. It's a 12-week course. It's a live activation. It is done online, so you can attend anywhere in the world. And if you can't make the class live, you will have access to the course material and the class recordings afterwards to listen. But you will receive 12 weeks of coaching, plus you will be in there with a group of like-minded souls. One of the classes that we just wrapped up is Self-Love is the New Shadow Work. And we will continuously be able to do that because that is one of my foundational teachings that I've been putting out for more than 2 decades. And I have other products as well over on my PayHip website where you can go to and start to work on some of those things to begin to get activated. The other thing is if you have a question, one of the things that I decided to launch so that I can answer your questions that you have is at my website, which is ask.allaboutfrequency369.com, where you will go and you simply will record your message. And then I will take your message and play it live, and I will answer your questions live. And in doing so, one of the things that I will do is you will receive, if your question is aired live, you will receive a special transmission activating gift from me of what I like to call a spirit quest to help you really begin to unlock and work in your unconscious mind to rewire yourself for higher states of frequency and consciousness. And so, if you can put up the other one in the middle there, that's going to tell you what the website looks like. And that's it right there. It's the All About Frequency, ask.allaboutfrequency369.com. And you can go there And all of the instructions are there, and you can record your message. Just know that quite a few people are leaving their messages, and I will be getting to them soon. I'm going to take a little bit time off here before we get ready to get into the new year and get ready for the new class, but it's going to be there. I'm also going to be opening up the Futuristic Activation Group as well as the Galactic E-Files. I have a lot of things that I'm working on. So if you're interested in activating and really becoming empowered and learning how to use your intuitive abilities, whether that's for healing, and healing in all aspects of your life, your physical body, your relationships, your finances, to increase, learning how to stay in an elevated state of consciousness. Because the truth is, most of humanity is so used to being in a low vibration, in this 3D vibration, that whenever somebody talks about raising your frequency or being in an elevated state of consciousness, there is this misconception that I'm talking about you walking around just happy all the time for no reason. And that really has little or nothing to do with it. But it is about understanding about joy. It is about having your self-worth. And it's also about understanding how to unlock your power within you and to tap into your God light. I call it the spark within you. You know, back in the days, one of my very first website was a website called the Kundalini Lounge. And it stated to unlock the spark within you. Well, that Kundalini Lounge is still alive. It has morphed itself like many things in my life over the years. But this is one of the things that you can begin to start unlocking in your life. Everything that you want is here. Everything in your life you want is here. And if you're in a low vibration, you need to understand how to close the gap. And that's what I do. I help you with getting the clarity so you can close the gap and become empowered in your life. And you can begin to move forward with knowing and not moving forward, guessing, hoping, or wishing, or just happening or looking for someone else to move you forward. You can start moving yourself forward in life, and you can create the life that you want for yourself and your loved ones. So yeah, those are the things that I have going on. And I just want to thank everybody for being here. And this right here, I'm going to put this up. I didn't talk too much about it, but it's a fire ritual that you can actually do. And what I would encourage you guys to do is to screenshot this. It's pretty simple, and it's going to tell you the steps that you need and the items that you need to do this ritual. And this ritual is fire that walks, that we talked about. It's about aligning with earth, element, it's aligning with water, and also fire and breath. And so the things that you're going to need is some water, you'll need a candle, and you'll need a stone. That can be a crystal of your choice. That could also be a stone that you have. I would encourage anybody that is having problems with finances in their life that you go by and you find a bank, an institute or a bank. I would say a bank. And look outside and look on the ground. And I want you first, to send blessings out that the right stone will be called to you, and to pick up a stone from the bank if you want to work primarily on finances. If any of you are having any issues that is dealing with physical healing within your body, then you can simply find a stone that is located anywhere on the ground, because earth itself is where the healing energy can really help to facilitate healing within the physical body. And get you a stone. And I want you, with that fire, you're going to take 3 deep breaths while holding the stone in your hand. You're going to keep holding that stone in your hand. You're going to put it in the palm of your hand, just like it is there. There is a activation statement to repeat that is listed on the visual there. And you're going to take 3 breaths, hold it in your hand, have the bowl of water either next to you or behind you. And then after taking your 3 deep breaths, and I want you to breathe in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. with an ah sound, holding your intention deep within your heart. And after the 3 breaths, I want you to blow the candle out. After repeating the statement, may my movement be clear, clean, and may my path be clear, and may my voice be true. And repeat that and then blow out the candle. And this simple ritual here is going to help you align with the higher frequency. You'll feel it within your body. And then what you want to do is you want to keep that water and you want to keep that stone. And you want to hold that water and you want to hold that stone and that candle for 10 days. After the 10 days, I want you to offer up the water and return it to earth. And then I want you to offer up the stone and return it back to earth. And know that you have completed that ritual. It is signed, it is sealed, and it is delivered. I would encourage you to keep this activation visual here, screenshot it, keep it on your phone, and from time to time go in and just repeat that activation statement. And this is going to be the reminder of the fire ritual that you are walking with fire. And it's going to remind you that you will have clean movements and that your path will be cleared of whatever is blocking you, whatever may be holding you back, whatever fears you may have, whatever unconscious patterns or ancestral patterns that are coming up. And may your voice be true, and that you will honor this as you continuously walk and move through life in 2026. And so I did tell you you can get rid of the stone, but you can also keep the stone with you. And then you can keep the stone with you. And remember, I move with life and life moves with me. And that's just a little gift that I want to give to all of you for tuning in here to us tonight with this share. And if you have any questions, you can also go to ask.allaboutfrequency369.com and you will see a way to contact me on social media, whether that's through Instagram, through email, through YouTube, or even through leaving a voice note for me as well. Yeah, I thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. I love that fire bomb. Yeah. And thank you again, Brother Knowledge Born Ali. Yeah, thank you. This has been a real treat, a real
The fire
blessing.
bomb from the fire horse, okay? Understand what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Mhm.
Yes, honest to you, Miss Blue. I sent you, all 12 of those books, so you can have them to
Oh my
do what
goodness.
you need to do. And if there's
Wow.
anybody in your listening audience that
Yes.
wants to get those books, they could say, "Hey, I heard you with Miss Blue, Brother Ben. I need to get those.
Yes.
Those
You
12
guys
books
get
are
those books.
on sale right
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
for the rest of the month.
Yes.
They're normally $140 for all 12 books, but
Yes.
because y'all know Miss Blue, and either y'all see me with Miss Blue or Black Dot, we
Hey.
got the celebrate a brother sister sale
Mm.
for $50. So y'all can get
Wow.
them
Wow.
directly from
Thank you.
me for $50. If you go looking
Wow.
around on my websites and stuff, you gonna get that regular price. Okay, I'm not mad if you get it. I'm not mad at all. But if you want to get it from me directly, uh, via social media or email.
Yeah.
Do Knowledge Radio, as it's spelled right here,
Yes.
DOTHA, Do
Mm.
Knowledge Radio at Gmail. Say, I saw you with Miss Blue, Waterhead, and I want to get those books from you
Yes.
directly for the low. You understand what I'm saying? Or Do Knowledge Radio at Gmail or at Knowledge Born Alive 357 on Instagram.
Yes.
Either one of those places, you can get those books ASAP. So if
Yeah.
y'all hit me up, I'll give you the information to be able to pay for it via Cash App or PayPal, and We
Yeah.
get them ASAP. Okay, Miss Blue, no, I ain't a shyster.
Wow.
You understand?
Thank you.
So
No.
you got the books already.
Yes, and I
Good.
posted that in my story when I seen you had put it out too. So I know a lot of people seen it as well. But you guys
Somebody
definitely.
will say, "Hey, I saw you on Miss Blue." They put it already.
Hey, I saw you on Miss Blue. Brother Knowledge.
Yeah. So anybody
Yes.
who's interested, we can definitely make that
Thank you.
happen
Thank you. That is beautiful.
expeditiously. So
Yeah. Well, this has definitely been a beautiful treat. I enjoyed this. What a beautiful way for us to close out, right before Christ Conscious Day. It's going to be a lot of activation on that day for a lot of people. So, I thank you again. My heart is full. So thank you. Thank you. It's been beautiful. Yeah.
you have been beautiful, Miss Blue. We love you in real life, okay? You understand
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying? So
Love
somebody was
you in
talking
real life.
about we need a soul tribe retreat or something. I heard the people, they were beckoning. You understand
Yes.
what I'm saying? They need to see Miss Blue in real life. Okay.
Yes, and
I'll
we
probably
will.
pass out. Somebody probably have to wake me up like, hey bro, come on. It's just Miss Blue. I'll be like, I don't think you understand the magnitude. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely honest to you, honest to your soul tribe, honest to your family, ancestrally,
Thank you.
spiritually, emotionally, physically. We got so many soul tribes, and thank you for
Yes.
being a frequencier and raising up frequenciers over
Thank you.
these last, couple of decades, and empowering those to be able to see the greatest parts of themselves and discard those parts that are no longer serving them
Yes.
in space and activation. Love and honor to you. Got nothing but love, honor, and respect. And I wish a mofo would about Miss Blue, okay? .com. Let me just get that straight. You understand what I'm saying? I wish a mofo would.
Thank you.
.com
Thank
about
you.
Miss Blue. You understand?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you
I
for your
love you,
time.
Brother Knowledge. Thank you so much. Peace and love to the soul family. Peace and love to everybody. Peace and love. Ciao. Ciao.
We out of here. Okay.
We out of here.
Peace.
It's the Mark of
Shit. Nah. Love the royal priesthood. Mark of Buddha. Sekou the madman. Killer priest. Fourth chambers, full Fuji. This beat sound like something I wear. You dig? Yo, hold on my people, why you walking around like you equal? They wrote you in as 3/5. What we gon' do about this? Talk too much, you end up like Jimi Hendrix in 27 Club. You want that knowledge? Well, I'm the plug. Knowledge itself is the drug. And I keep dropping the nugs. Culture pushing, wisdom spitting. Pimping simpletons into listening. Yawning while you spewing fiction. I can feel the tensions in your intentions. I wonder if that's Johnson heaven. If God is white, why he write that bronze was the sun? They give us reparations, that's when the apocalypse begun. Yeah. Red rhyme, okay. Yeah, red rhyme, better rhyme. Grab your guns, daughters and sons. Wasn't long ago when they had us hung. Blood on the leaves, frontal crumbled in between. Exhale for my ancestors that prevailed. We inhale, so we inhale, dodging death every day. Just happy I'm here to tell the tale. Meanwhile, y'all with the pigs and them tattletales. I'ma just be a scientist if it all fails. Mixing chemicals like a cocktail. My tree smell like it's from the tropical. So not for sale, never settle. Follow the tears on the trail. Nah.
That whole African American thing is to omit. You see, the indigenous black man of this particular land, when we brought the African American term, we cut out all of the Caribbean, all of South America, all of Latin America. This is another way to reclassify you, you see what I'm saying, outside of power.
We got blacks, whites, brown and yellow. We got red, those with dreads found in the ghetto. We got bullet-led and misled, the smile of the devil. On the face of the moon, heart pound like a rebel. Hear the sound of the metal. War in Iraq, 6 feet underground with the shovel. All over the map, the Bible said signs of the time. The Torah said that's your God, not mine. The Holy Quran says it's all Allah designed. The Buddhist says let's us meet at the shrine. Thou shalt not eat of the swine. That you is the cut, sure as blue as the blood. Kill a priest in the temple, Nehru is the love.
That's a political move that was put in by the government to break you down to this subclass, you see, and not be a world community. So to call you an African American is to disconnect you from that global community and that great diaspora that we were talking about. So that's a political move. Yes, come on. The average Native American was this brother's complexion at the turn of the century. Now when you say Native American, it's some white person with a feather in his hair.